Hey guys, it's Craig. I'm out on another shoot today. I'm near Red Rock, although I'm not in the actual loop or in the actual dedicated park. I don't know where the boundaries are, but there's a parking lot that leads to a handful of trails that's off Blue Diamond Road, or I think it's Highway 160 outside of Las Vegas. And so this is my first time here, and so far I really dig it. You can see the view behind me is really open. And I climbed up a little bit on this hill so I can kind of get a cool downward angle at the small valley there is down there. And then I was also able to get a decent amount of sunrise light off those hills behind me. So hopefully I have a few cool pics with that this morning. Other than that, there's not a lot of clouds today, so there's not a lot of cool sky texture. I brought a handful of lenses, so I might be able to walk around a little bit and get some, hopefully some bird shots, maybe a couple lizards here and there. We'll see. Sometimes that stuff's hard to find. The other night I went out to Red Rock on the other side, actually off of Charleston, through the loop, almost not exactly through the loop, but off the loop, and did some night shots. I was trying to get some star shots, but it was a full moon and the clouds were out, so there was just light glowing everywhere. So this is my first video in a few weeks. I just like to check in and let you guys know where I'm shooting each weekend. Also kind of give you insight into what my mindset is going out and then when I get out to the location. So today I knew I was going to try to get the sunrise. So I was out here about 30 minutes before sunrise, maybe 40. And facing west, there was no clouds. The sky was pretty much completely clear. So when the sun was coming up, I got cool light off the mountains, but no texture in the sky. Then luckily, facing east, back towards the city, where the sun is actually rising, there was a decent amount of clouds on the horizon, which hid the sun just enough to give some cool texture and created some cool light rays of the sun coming through the clouds. So I actually think I have a couple cool shots shooting that direction through a couple trees and seeing the hills on the east side of the valley with a few clouds. So hopefully there's one or two shots that are print worthy from there, which is really cool because I didn't quite expect that type of shot today. The main thing was finding this view and really scouting this location, because what I want to do is come back at night here and shoot some astrophotography shots, because as you can see, the view behind me is awesome. It's a wide view, unobstructed wide view. So I think this would be a perfect spot for that. This would also be a good shot if it's on a cloudy or a rainy day. Come out and get some shots of that. So my list is growing already for what I want to come back here for. One thing I too kind of regret, and I think when I stop recording I'll go explore this, is that there's another road that I didn't realize this morning because it was so dark, that a paved road that actually goes a little further out that will get me closer to some of those hills over there. Because right now I'm just in my car, so I usually try to park at parking lots and then hike the rest of the way. So that's what I did today. So I'm maybe not quite a couple miles out, maybe just a mile out from my car. So I'm just mainly scouting today. Got the cool sunrise pics. Got a couple sunrise pics of the mountains behind me. Now I think for the next few minutes I'm going to walk around with my zoom lens and try to get some animal shots, see what I can do. It's rare that I have a day where I get all that stuff. So if I can get a couple animal shots, it'd be a pretty productive day. The other night when I went out to get some night shots at on one of the other sections of Red Rock, the star shots didn't work out. I had a couple attempts at some cool long exposures, but nothing really interesting. Except one shot. I think I got one really cool shot from a few weeks ago, or a week ago when I went out. So that's just an example of how it goes sometimes. Usually I'm lucky and I get a few shots that are worthy of sharing or printing or whatnot. But yeah, the other night, like I was out for at least 2 hours, and I got one shot, and that's being pretty picky. I think maybe before, when I first started coming out, I think I would have shared a lot more. But I'm learning to be more selective and attentive to the details of each shot. My biggest beef when I'm shooting some of these landscapes is that depending on what lens I'm using, a lot of times I have a few lenses now, so I'm getting to the point where I'm lucky enough to choose each lens for various reasons. But when I first started coming out, if I only had 2 lenses, I had to choose the wide lens because it was the only wide lens I had. And some of my lenses have more chromatic aberration than others. So on the edge of the mountains, you'd see some odd color halo. And sometimes that's the sacrifice you choose to get really cool, rich colors on certain lenses. But that being said, that's part of the reason why the other night I only had one really good, cool shot. And the other reason, too, was just that there also wasn't a lot going on. The direction I was facing, there was a few clouds, but not much. You couldn't really see any stars. So there's nothing really being added to the shot. What we really pulled from it, though, was this really cool color combo that happens when you're doing these nighttime long exposures, or just after sunset or just before sunrise. And if you've seen my website or followed me, you've probably seen a couple of these shots where it's like you start to get these, the blue kind of goes into this purple tint, and it's kind of subtle when you take the raw shot, and then when I take it into post, I enhance it a bit. That's another conversation I need to have for another day, is that I'm still, although I've been kind of ramping up my photography for the past 2 years and doing it more and more and more, I'm still finding my perfect balance of how much post I'm willing to do. So whether that's just enhancing saturation, adjusting contrast, building in panorama, there are certain things that I feel are appropriate to creating the photograph, and there are certain things that some people might do, and it's totally cool with them, where they might composite. And composites are great. I've been doing composites too, but debating on how much compositing is okay, how much layering of shots, works for me. And most of the time, I think my guideline so far is that if I'm stacking compositing for exposure, that's a good reason. If I'm stacking compositing for content, like if I'm pulling clouds from another shot into a different shot, that starts to get to an area where I'm not quite sure that's what I want to do. But like I said, I'm still finding where I land in that spectrum of just printing the raw image versus using all the tools in the tool shed to create what you see. I'm probably going to land somewhere in the middle there. So I guess I kind of rambled a little bit today, but I just wanted to show you this cool view behind me. I'll have a few pictures on this video that show it better, and I definitely will be back. I have to create a to-do list and maybe come back for a little more some focus trips. So that's it for now. Hopefully people are starting to discover these videos. I know at this point they hardly have any views, so I'm trying to share as much as possible. If you find these interesting, these photography videos or filmmaking videos that are coming, share the channel, subscribe, hit like, and there'll be more stuff to come. Talk to you guys soon.